Good morning, third graders. This is the time of year that we see lots of pumpkins, and the pumpkin is a great subject to draw. And I'm going to have you make a drawing of a pumpkin or three, and you will be learning about form and space by drawing a pumpkin. Now, form and space are two elements of art. And the elements of art are those basic things that you put together to create art. Form deals with a cube. This is an example of a form. It has thickness. That's how we can describe it as being thick. Also, you can see that it has height. You can see how tall it is. And you can see the width of it. You can see how wide it is. Those are the three dimensions. It's 3D. This cube is 3D. It has height, width, and depth. That lets you know how tall it is, how wide it is, and how thick it is. Also, here's another example of a form, a cylinder. This is a skinny one. A great example of a cylinder is a canned good that's in the cabinet at your home. It could be soup, beans, whatever it is. That's a cylinder. And you've seen these cones. We use ice cream cones, even the cone shaped hats at parties. But anyway, this is a cone. It has height, depth, and width. Another form is a sphere. If you play basketball, kickball, any type of ball that is used, those are spheres. They're round. It has some thickness to it. These spheres are the great example of a three-dimensional object because we see those all the time. We should be familiar with that type of thing when you play with the ball. For this drawing activity, you're going to be using crayons or color pencils for it. Also, you need to understand when it comes to dealing with a drawing, drawings are two-dimensional. They're flat. A sheet of paper is thin. You see paper all the time. This is construction paper. It's thin and flat. That particular thing is a shape. And when it comes to a shape, it's flat, it's thin, but also a sheet of paper has width. You can see how wide it is. And also you can see how long it is. It has width and length. Those are the two dimensions of something like a sheet of paper. It's flat. And also look at the shape of this paper. This is rectangular. Geometric shapes like circle, square, triangle, all of those things are flat and they are two-dimensional. Now I just showed you examples of forms like the cube is thick. It has height, depth, and width. I'm showing you again so that you can know the difference between something that has dimensions, three dimensions, which is height, depth, and width, and also something that is two-dimensional. I'm holding a sticky note and it's square shaped. And this is the two-dimensional version of the three-dimensional cube because it starts with a square. But you can extend it, just like I drew up here, to give it some thickness when you're drawing. For this drawing, you're not necessarily focusing on a cube, but yet you're looking at drawing a pumpkin. The pumpkin I showed you in the beginning. Here it is again. Now, you can base your drawing on something like this. This is fake, but yet you know what real ones look like. You can always look at a photograph, look at them in a magazine to give you an idea, but I'll have a template or a guide to give you an example of how to draw it. Also, in this drawing, we're looking at space. Now, space in art, it gives the illusion of depth, like something is going off in the distance. Because someone that is far away from you, they would appear to be smaller. If they're close up to you, they're going to be big. When it comes to space, there's different ways of creating space in artwork, but we're going to basically use the use of size and placement. For example, when it comes to drawing a pumpkin on paper, you can overlap them. That is, you can start with one drawing and then position the other thing behind it so that it would appear to be covered just a little bit. That's overlapping. Now, off in the distance, you got something higher up. I got it higher up on the page because this one is lower. This is moved up. And also I got it smaller. The further away it gets, the smaller it gets. So that's dealing with space. So those are the ways that we create space in drawing. For this particular piece, overlapping, you're going to overlap at least 2 of your pumpkins. And also you're going to have one that's smaller. So you're doing a total of 3. Now, the way you're going to put all of this together, you're doing your pumpkin drawing. First, you're going to draw your pumpkin on the paper. I did this one lower on the page. Then next, you're going to overlap at least the next one. So that would be a medium-sized one. So you're starting with a larger one. The next one should be a little smaller, not extremely small. So they overlap a little bit. Then next, you are going to have a finished product, something like this, but I want to show you the finished piece. You're going to have a smaller one at the end of it, and you're going to color in your background. Draw something in the background. I put a fence in the background of mine. So yours doesn't have to look exactly like this. There are many things. These things are grown on a farm, someone's garden. What's around it? Where's the location? You can add something to it. You can put a scarecrow back there. You can put a tractor. It could be a barn or a house because it could be next to a house. It depends on what you want in your drawing. So your drawing is to be drawings of pumpkins, and you're doing 3. You're doing large, medium, and small, and 2 of them should at least overlap, touch a little bit. And then one off in the distance should be a little smaller, a lot smaller than the first 2. So you're creating a background. Look at the template and give you an idea of what your pumpkin could look like. Use crayons or color pencils. I use color pencils for this example. The color pencils give me a little bit more control. Crayons, if that's what you have, please use it. And enjoy the process. Be patient with yourself in coloring in the spaces. And enjoy it. Thank you.